It's Mark and Pete.
Hello, and welcome to the show. More colourful conversations with Mark and Pete. This week, we ask a key question. Is Britain's drug habit on a high? Every week we tackle a key subject. Clergyman Pete and businessman Mark tackle all sorts of key things which resonate in society. Well, our drug habits seem to be growing. Remarkably, statistics show that drug use is rising in the UK. Are we addicted as a nation? Nearly 1 in 3 British adults have taken an illegal substance, and a fifth of those are still doing so. And what is also remarkable is that 40% of drug takers are in the higher echelons of society. And just to illustrate that point, Lord Sewell has resigned from the House of Lords after being filmed allegedly taking drugs with prostitutes. Well, footage obtained by The Sun on Sunday appeared to show the peer, who had been the Deputy Speaker of the Lords, snorting powder from a woman's breasts. Oh dear, yes. And there are many other examples where drug use seems to be prevalent. Well, with me today is Clergyman Pete. So, Pete, what are you seeing in your parish on drug use?
Well, the use of drugs recreationally certainly is I would say, a popular pastime, but also a popular subculture in that it's not simply something that people dip into. I'm going to try drugs this week. Next week I'll try crocheting or whatever. It becomes a lifestyle, and a lifestyle that demands that people give a large part of their life to it as it takes over. And not only that, it becomes part of a whole network of financial, cultural, and social interaction, such that people can't escape from it once they get into it. So I do see that there are big problems with recreational drug use, and one of the most insidious and damaging and horrifying aspects is quite young children being involved, not simply in taking these illegal substances, which is bad in itself, but are involved in trafficking and selling the substances. So yes, I do see that as being a problem in society. As to whether it's increasing, I haven't got an actual measure of the number of people involved, but certainly I've noticed that recently large numbers, particularly of younger people, are getting more involved in this drug subculture.
Yes. Well, interestingly, we'll focus on the concept of addiction. I'm going to ask you later some answers to some key questions about statistics, because they are alarming, but I would like to get your input on those. But before we do, this idea of who is responsible, you mentioned that children are affected. Of course, it seems to be affecting all areas of society. Upstanding members of the House of Lords, one would think that surely they would know better. Well, I'm going to sort of pose a little poem here, which sort of perhaps might indicate who is actually responsible. This is a poem called The Genesis of Substance, Planting the Seed of Doubt. There went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the planet. The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Cocaine, cried man, who became a living soul. The earth does surely bring great wonders. And the Lord God unwittingly planted a garden in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of substance. For midst of the garden God had made a junkie. Man, what in God's name have you done?
It's one of those insidious evils, drug taking, that because of its association with fun times with partying, it's difficult to, I suppose, difficult to tell people not to do it. Because
Yes.
as soon as you do, it seems like you're saying, stop having fun, which is, of course, not what you're saying. You're saying to start having fun and stop taking illegal drugs. It's the opposite. But it's getting past that association in people's minds. It's a bit like a staple in the culture used to be the amusing drunk, and you sort of find being drunk amusing. Well, that seems to have gone from certainly from movies and that sort of thing as being a comedy figure, but it always used to be the case. But it's still now. But still now, the thing is that people seems to be a staple, and that isn't the case in general. To those who are not taking the drugs, they're pretty boring. So it's not it's not what the current cultural stereotype says it is. A drug taker is not a fun person. In fact, rather the opposite. But I think you've nailed it with that poem. But I think what I think is that we need to take this problem of drug abuse very simply. Even if it were a minor problem in terms of numbers, it would be an important issue. But with increasing numbers and it affecting all levels of society, as you were saying in the intro, that now is the time really for people just to change their view on this. Just as the view on take something else in society that we've changed everyone. The idea of smoking in public places. It's made illegal, and it doesn't happen so much these days.
Yes.
Drinking and driving, yes, people still do it, but it's frowned upon. There's been a change in the cultural attitude to it, and so we need a change in the attitude to recreational drug taking. But the change so far that I've seen during my lifetime has been the other way. Yeah. It's been from being frowned on to being people say, well, of course, everyone does it.
Well, let me take that as a point, because it seems that these acts of desperation, as I'm going to describe, seem to be getting even worse. So here's another example on a totally different level. But remarkably, Tesco's, the well-known high street retailer, actually reported that they found drugs in their bananas. Now, I know that this is quite extraordinary, but apparently there was a haul of drugs that had an estimated street value of more than £600,000, and it was found in these bananas. They were found by a worker who was unpacking the fruit shipment from South America when he discovered 5 bags, and each of them contained powder weighing about 1 kilogram. Well, of course, obviously the police were involved, but what it does show is that even those drug cartels are getting more and more inventive, trying to infiltrate society. So we're seeing on the one hand that we're seeing, members of the House of Lords doing it. We're seeing people in society doing it. It's even trying to sort of filter into commerce. So is there no kind of salvation from this evil problem?
Yes. Well, I was just laughing there, just because I had this idea of the usual problem when people say there's a problem with the bananas is that spiders have been coming in. I wonder whether the spiders were taking the drugs and what effect that would have on their webs. But that was just my mind wandering off track. But the problem with drugs coming in and the spiders maybe not managing to get hold of them. Coming in all different ways that you can't avoid them. It seems to be wherever you are, people know how to get hold of the drugs. People I know who are involved in getting hold of drugs because they want to use them say if they went anywhere, any city, because they know the tricks of the trade, as we might call them, they would be able to get drugs pretty much anywhere just because they know where to look and the sort of person or place to go to get them. So I think that you can't avoid them. The way to address it then, what the war on drugs that we've seen seems to have failed. In the opposite has been happening. The power of the drug cartels has increased, although individual drug barons or drug lords, as they tend to be called, these criminals who sell such drugs for their own gain, that they may have been sent to prison or be got rid of in some way, but the overall it's increased the power of the drug cartels and drug use. So we're failing, and maybe we're failing because the market is out there. In the end, it's people's desire and willingness to take these drugs that is the issue.
Well,
not the people who are selling it to them.
Exactly. Let me pick up on that in terms of your market knowledge then.
Right.
As I mentioned at the start of the program, there have been a number of surveys, but I'm just going to amalgamate this. This was a survey done recently by the British Drug Survey. It's about a year old now, but it's pretty accurate. So I'm not going to give you the statistic. You're going to try and guess the answer. So the first question was asked.
I'm guessing a statistic.
You're going to guess a statistic. I will give you the answer, but I want you to have a go first. The question was first posed to people who are British citizens. Have you ever taken an illegal drug? So how many of the survey, of a few thousand, actually said that they had taken an illegal drug?
So this is a percentage I'm looking for?
This is a percentage, yes.
Right, okay. Okay, so a percentage you said they had at any point
taken. Have they ever taken an illegal drug?
Let me say, well... an actual illegal drug, let me say 25%. I'm going for.
That's not bad, actually. It was actually 31, slightly higher. But,
okay, that's more than I thought.
It says, do you still take illegal drugs, even if only occasionally?
Right. Okay. Now, well, it's got to be lower, hasn't it? Because that's the top. Having taken one at least once must be high. But so it's. I'm going to go for 10%. I'm going to go.
It's much higher. It's 21. But
really?
This is a key question. This is talking to the surveyees. In your opinion, do you think you have ever had a problem with drugs? So remember,
have they had a problem?
Have they had a problem with drugs?
I'm a strong believer in the power of self-delusion. So I'm going to say that a very low percentage think they have a problem. This has ever had a problem. I'm going to go for 10% again. I think 10%.
Well, that's very close. It's actually 13%.
Yeah.
But here is where it gets to some of the points that we are talking about now. It says, when you take drugs, are you more likely to take them at home, a friend's house, or in a club, pub, bar, or environment? So that's quite a wide range. But basically, they're saying in a public, either a public environment or a home environment. So let me make a clear distinction here. So how many do you think of those surveyed were actually in their home or their friend's house took drugs?
Oh, I see. So there's two choices. One,
yes.
Home and friends is the same thing.
100%. But
okay.
Let's take the home and friends house.
Well, so let me get this straight. I'm going to do a percentage.
Yes.
So the two together have to add up to 100%.
Yes.
Okay. Just make it clear. Yes. Get the maths sorted out here. Okay. So I'm going to say that it's going to be the majority would take it at home. I think that so I'm going to go for 60%. Will be at home or in a friend's house.
It's actually much higher than that.
Oh, right. Oh, you want me to have another guess? 80%.
Yes. That's very close. It's
82.5%.
84%. And then those remaining say that 16% took it in from clubs, pubs, bars.
Yeah. No, my reasoning for that is although someone might buy it in a club or meet somewhere to buy it, they're going to take it at home.
Yes.
Now, so I think that's why I thought there was a higher proportion. And it's interesting.
We're going to come to the end of the program here, but what I'd like to ask you, I mean, particularly as a member of the clergy, you meet people of all walks of life, and so what do you think is the solution to this perceived growing problem?
Well, I have become more and more convinced that the problem has to be solved at an individual level. An individual has to not want to be involved, and that has to be early. I'm not talking about solving an addiction. That's something separate. I mean, I believe that in many cases can be done. But I'm talking about solving the problem of people turning to taking these drugs. And I'm saying right at that level, you have to be determined that you don't want to be involved in that at all, which involves something we've talked about here on the Mark and Pete show before, the idea of a whole culture education program, such that a government puts money into education, saying why you shouldn't be taking these drugs. In schools, people are saying why you shouldn't take them. But also, there's a proper PR advertising campaigns saying, making it such that people can see the reason why they shouldn't take it. In the same way as there's been a cultural shift in things like wearing seatbelts when you're in car, not drinking while you're driving, not smoking in public, those sort of things. Make the same sort of effort on this change. I think it needs to be something done at an individual level that people don't want to go down that route at all. Here's a Bible verse. There are plenty of Bible verses against drunkenness, so taking too much alcohol in that case. But it can be applied to taking these illegal drugs, taking drugs for recreational purposes. And this I think is an interesting take in it. Proverbs 23 verse 29. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who tarry long over wine, those who go to try mixed wine. In other words, it's a direction you don't want to travel in. And if you do travel in the direction of taking recreational drugs, you're going to have trouble, woe, as it so eloquently put it, and sorrow and strife and complaining and wounds without cause. Don't go that route. That needs to be a message that is just drummed home time and time again from all different directions, so that individuals make that choice.
Yes. Well, listeners, let us know your thoughts on this subject. Have you taken drugs at home or at work or possibly in the public house? Let us know. Why not drop us a line? Drop on to markandpete.com and fill out the contact form. We'd love to hear from you. So join us again next time for more colourful conversations with Mark and Pete.